Hey guys, President of XP Realty, part of the Johnson Group here with Stacy Berg from Choice Home Warranty. How you doing today, Stacy?
I'm doing great, Patrick. Thanks.
I'm glad you came to come on here
How
to
are
talk about some home warranty stuff. I'm really excited.
Yeah, I'm really excited too. I really want to be able to reach as many people, realtors as possible. So this is some valuable information.
We let some sellers know what's going on too. That's going to be fantastic. So let's just get right into it, okay? So we're talking about sellers coverage. Is that correct?
Yes, because
Okay.
we know spring is when we get all those listings. So it's really important to protect your seller while their home's on the market.
Absolutely, I totally agree. And I completely forgot about this. It's been a while since I've talked to a home warranty person about seller's coverage. So I'm pretty excited to get this out. So let's go. So, what is seller's coverage?
Well, seller's coverage is designed to protect the seller while their home is on the market. So they're protecting the seller's budget just in case something malfunctions during the listing period.
Okay. And then, so what does it not cover?
Well, seller's coverage, what it does cover is systems and appliances that break down due to normal wear and tear. What we don't cover is getting everything repaired before we put the house on the market. So if it's already something that we know about, it's not going to be covered. But if it breaks down during the listing period, all you need to do is call in and place a service request.
Oh, fantastic. How much is a service request? About $75. Is that correct?
It's $75, correct. And we have the lowest service fee out there right now.
Okay. Okay. And so, when does the seller's coverage start?
Well, it starts on the date that the agent orders it, and it goes up until the closing date.
Up until the closing date. There's
So,
no
base,
specific time period?
well, we initially give you 180 days, and we really hope that the home's sold before then. But if not,
What do we know?
we can extend it. There
Okay.
was times when homes were on the market, over
Well,
6 months.
right now, the average home, the average days on market in Savannah is like 70. So, kind of
Mhm.
came back down a little bit from last month, but I mean, I could kind of see us coming, kind of trending up on the days on market. So I'm glad you guys do it for 180 days at the minimum. But we could always renew it, right? If it expires,
Yes,
yeah, okay.
it can be renewed. You have to reach out to me, and I have to check and see, what activity has gone on in the contract to determine whether we can extend that out for you.
Okay. Okay. So now that we talked about what it covers and what it doesn't cover, how long it goes for, so how much does it cost the seller to do this?
Oh, okay. So basically, our basic listing coverage is absolutely free. We cover the plumbing, electrical, the water heater, and the appliances. And a lot of companies don't cover appliances for listing coverage because they're actually more difficult to service. So that is our free option. But if you want to cover the HVAC system, which is very important, that's $60 due at closing.
Okay,
So,
so you cover it during the entire time, but when they close, $60 comes out of at the closing cost or at the end.
right. So that's added to the cost for the home warranty for the buyer. So the whole intention of listing coverage is to have it transition from the seller to the buyer at closing. So normally what we would do is we would collect the buyer's information, and then we'll send an invoice out to the closing company, and it will be paid out of the closing costs.
Okay, okay. Um, whose responsibility is it to order the seller's coverage?
Well, usually it's the listing agent who orders the seller's coverage on behalf of their client by contacting us and placing that order. However, sometimes in, say, maybe a multiple offer situation, a buyer might want to come in and say, here's my offer. I'm going to include the seller's coverage on the home warranty and the buyer side so that if anything comes up during the inspection, it can be covered by the home warranty. So that's really how people can make their offer stand out, by offering to cover the seller during the seller's period and then purchasing their own warranty after closing.
Okay, hold on a second. Let me understand this real quick. You're saying if we get a seller's coverage, they do a home inspection on the home, and they find maybe the dishwasher's not working and
Hmm.
the AC's got some problems. You guys will cover that after it gets inspected, even if the buyer doesn't pay for a warranty. Is that correct?
That's correct. We
Wow.
actually, like I said, we want it to transition into the buyers. However, if it's negotiated out of the closing or the home comes off the market, it can be canceled with nothing owed. So we're taking that risk, just like you as realtors are taking the risk when you take the listing.
Right. Wow. Okay. So that is incredible. I mean, do you have, I know I'm kind of putting you on the spot here and I don't want to do that, but do you have any examples of where can you give me an example of where this has helped the seller out and or the buyer?
Well, I can definitely give you a personal story.
Okay.
And this just, it's not, um, anyway. So when I bought my house 7 years ago, I
Okay.
knew it was an old house. It was built in 1941. So when my inspector came in, they found pinhole leaks in a cast iron pipe in the crawl space, 60 feet long. Now, when I was told that, I was like, oh, so the plumbing is quite old. That's something that I need to be prepared for. So if the seller's agent had had listing coverage at the time before the inspection, and the inspector found that there was pinhole leaks in that pipe, the home warranty would have covered it for the $75 service fee. So that is something that could have saved their sellers, quite a bit of money, maybe a grand. So
Hey,
that's just really what you really have to think about. First time home buyers, older homes is really something that should be included with every single one of your listings.
absolutely. I mean, I like I said, I had heard about this before. I think it was a different warranty company that had offered something similar to this. But I totally lost track of it. Thank God I talked to you again. So we're definitely going to put it on all the listings that we got. Okay, so I'm going to give you an example for right now. So I've got a few listings going on right now. What about after
Mhm.
I've already had them sign it? Can we still get on it now, even though we've been on the
That
market for looks like 20 days now?
yes, you can order it anytime during the listing.
Wow. Well, that is incredible. I do love it.
It really is.
I need to talk to my sellers about. I mean, I mean, I can't imagine, because a lot of times what real estate agents would do, like for instance, for myself, typically I'm always buying home warranties for veterans, or currently active serving soldiers. Obviously, just say thanks, firefighters, police officers, teachers, and all that kind of stuff. I will cover a home warranty for them, just to make sure that they are protected. Right? I didn't even think about
Mhm.
how it could, because a lot of times we'll negotiate. Hey, look, there's some problems. You know, a lot of problems the buyers may not want to deal with, what I'm saying? Then, sometimes, and I don't want to, I'm not trying to talk smack. I'm just saying sometimes the sellers will fix things as cheaply as possible, and you're representing the
Mhm.
buyers. You know this going into it. So
Mhm.
okay, they fix these things, but like, how much did they pay for it? They're going to pay the least amount possible. So I go, okay, hey, check it out. We'll buy you a home warranty, make sure it's all covered after the fact, right? But then you're saying if we do this
Mhm.
beforehand, you're saving everybody in the transaction money. I really love that. I really do. So let me ask
Yeah.
you. So now that we had seller's coverage, right? Buyer comes in, buys the home. What is the cost for them to get home or a home warranty?
So the only package that I recommend is our Choice Ultimate. It's $660. However, it can be paid monthly. So we do take monthly payments with no additional charge, and that's a $55 payment once a month that's automatically withdrawn. Um, the reason why the Shield, the Choice Ultimate, is because it covers the refrigerant. Now, I'm not sure if you know, but the EPA is phasing out the two most common refrigerants right now. And so it's really important to have that coverage because the cost of that refrigerant is going to skyrocket. So we want to make sure that that's going to be covered in the home warranty as well. But I do have another point I wanted to stress, and I should have talked about it earlier from your other question, is um, a lot of times when during the inspection, the inspector will come up and say, um, everything's working. However, the water heater or the HVAC system has reached its life expectancy. So it could fail at any time. Now that's going to freak out some buyers and be like,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
okay, I don't want this. So in order to keep that deal together, sometimes the seller can actually provide the home warranty for the buyer. We offer multiple year home warranties, 2, 3, and 5-year home warranties. So even our 5-year home warranty is only $2,400. And if you break that up, that's quite a significant discount.
And that's for the Choice Ultimate?
Yes.
I
So
think I
that's
did.
5 years of coverage.
I think when I bought
That
my
will,
home, it 2 years on it.
yeah. And I did the
I
same
renew it a
thing.
year.
I did the same thing when I knew that my plumbing was old and was probably going to need to be replaced. I actually purchased myself a 2-year home warranty, and I got optional coverage for the outgoing sewer line and the incoming water line. Those are options that can be added on, and that's important if you have an older house, uh, because you know that those old pipes are definitely going to fail. Matter of fact, in the last 2 years, I've had both my sewer and my water line replaced,
Wow.
and that could have been tens of thousands of dollars. So the home warranty really did come in handy and rescue my budget.
Well, you were telling me the other day that there was a difference between, okay, so like standard coverage, it just covers the pipes underneath the foundation, right?
Correct.
And the
So
ultimate
under
takes,
your regular contract, no, the old, okay, so no, the external lines are optional coverage, and I think they're like $150 additional to add on either line or both. You can add on both for 300. But
okay.
if you really are concerned about those plumbing lines, it's definitely eases your mind.
Right, right, right. Because I didn't even think about that when we were talking about it. I was like, wait a minute. It only covers the lines underneath, and then you're saying, yeah, the lines that go out to the road or to the what the main,
Mhm.
right, are not covered if it's
Yeah,
underneath your grass, right?
correct.
Wow, wow, wow. That's crazy. Well, is there anything else you want to tell us about the Choice Home Warranty program that we haven't talked about yet?
Well, there's a lot of different benefits that Choice offers. For example, um, we have something called a non-transactional home warranty. So we can offer the real estate plan to, well, the realtors can offer our real estate plan to their previous clients,
Ah,
to friends, family. Um, It is a discounted rate from a regular direct to consumer warranty. If they don't have a warranty currently, there will be a 30-day wait period, but also because it's non-transactional, we can then pay a referral to the agent, and that's $75. So that's a nice little additional way to reach out to previous clients, ask them how how's everything going. If they say, oh my gosh, we're having problems with the stove, or then you can say, well, you know what? We didn't get the warranty at closing, but now might be a good time. And then remind them that it can be a $55 automatic payment. So it's very budget friendly.
Right, right, right. No, the reason why I do use choice, and I when I'm buying a home warranty for my clients, it is choice because they typically don't like. I'm not going to name other home warranty places, but typically, the real estate product is obviously much cheaper than sometimes double in
Mm,
other places. And I like that you guys don't jack it up a whole bunch. I mean, there is some raise in price, but it
yeah.
is not like I've seen in other ones. But
No,
is there anything else?
I've seen prices double, and that's when you can come in and rescue that client, switch them over to the choice home warranty. Um, it is normal for a real estate product for the cost to increase, but we are not even close to that. We're more like $150 maybe in the increase.
Right, right, right.
And it can still be paid monthly, when you renew.
Right. And I think, that's a little bit more palatable for a lot of people. 'Cause some people can't just rip off $800, you know what I'm saying,
Mhm.
to buy a warranty off the rip. So, is there anything else?
Well, I'm trying to think. Um, well, the most important thing about choice, I would say, is me. You have, I have 21 years of experience in home warranty. And if I can't answer your question, then I will find somebody who can. But definitely, I am more than happy to talk to realtors, talk to their clients, help with service issues. I have a personal assistant who handle those from start to finish. So I just want you to know that when you get a warranty with Choice, you're not just out there alone and have an 800 number. You have access to me, and I'm happy to be there for you.
Well, fantastic. Well, if someone were to call you right now after watching this and buy a home warranty, how do they get a hold of you?
Well, you can call me directly. My number 706-881-6592, or you can email me at sberg@chwpro.com. Looking forward to hearing from you all.
All right, fantastic. And of course, if you have any questions about anything real estate, or if you want me to help you get in touch with Stacy, or you're having a listing and you want to make sure that you have home warranty coverage on it, you can give me a call at 912-657-3544. I'm so thankful you came on today to explain this to everybody. Stacy, I really appreciate it, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks, Patrick. You have a great day.
You too. Bye.